Hello, this is Trevor. This is going to be a walkthrough of how I solved Dyslexxec in the Down Under CTF 2022. In the challenge, we receive a URL and a tar file. I did go ahead and download that. And if I go to the Dyslexxec folder and do tree, we can see we have a Flask app, a XLSM file, and some libraries here in use, as well as the templates. So first thing I want to do is look at the app. We have a root, we have a downloads, which sends the file to us. We have an upload URL, and that's probably where we can upload. We have a metadata URL, and this looks like it extracts information from the upload, saves it to a temp data, and then tries to get some properties, including find internal file path. All that's added, and then temp folders deleted. All of that's written to the template. So let's take a look at that file. Here's the get metadata. This uses load workbook from OpenPyXL to get some properties. Extract workbook just uses zip extract. We'll also have this with resolve entities true etree XML parser. So if we look at etree XML parser vulnerabilities, we see that XXE, that is vulnerable to XXE, especially if resolve entities is set to true. So that's how we're going to solve this, is with an XXE attack. Let's open up the challenge site and also go visit the URL for the upload. So it's this here. There we go. And we can choose file. So let's go ahead and just choose. Okay, so we'll just choose the same file that was sent with it. So CTF, want to go to Down Under CTF, write-ups, web, Dyslexxec, and we'll choose that FizzBuzz. Open it up and submit to see how this works. What we notice is some of the information is pulled from the datasheet, right? And read and implemented and, and reflected back to us. And we've got a good idea of XXE, that this is vulnerable to XXE. So this is how we're going to get that information. Hopefully it'll not be blind. So let's start going through this. What I did is I let's make dir fizz buzz cp fizz buzz to that fizz buzz. And I want 2 copies because the one here, I'm going to unzip fizz buzz into all of its folders. And then this one I'm going to edit. I'm just going to vim fizzbuzz xlsm, and then this one I'm going to grep. And what I want to do is start grepping for stuff like this. Creator. Let's do grep grep-r creator, and we find out the file that property is in, and it looks like it has the same contents. But as we saw in the Python file, what we're really wanting to go for is these the properties that are added from find internal file path. And that would be anything with field name abs path, which is right here. And the sheet, I think I used the sheet one. So I went through all of these and started implementing, put payloads in all of them. Let's skip that. Let me show you at least once how I would do it. So I found docprops core, so I would know I want to edit that, right? I want to remove this standalone equals yes. And then here I want doc type. So I'm adding a doc type definition. I'll give it a name and then do this. And I think that. Let me go to open up 5 and go to my XXE cheat sheet, which is in mind map or xmind XXE. Okay, so yeah, so I did that right. Just like that. And then we'll start off without reading an external DTD. So I'm going to just put 2 spaces and I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to do entity foo and define it as I want something I can recognize. So I'm just going to put Trevor. That way it's easy to see, if I changed anything. Now I want to put that into the document. So I'm going to search for Microsoft Office user. I can leave it actually how it is and then just add the end ampersand foo semicolon. If everything works right, that will insert foo into here, which I'll see in the front end as Trevor. So going back here, I'm going to choose file, again, fizzbuzz, open, submit, and then we'll see how that shows up. We don't see it here at all, which sucks. And yeah, so basically all of these here don't really show anything until we get to these last 2. The last 2, let me, and I think I used the last one. So I went through and tried all of them. And then the last one was I think right. It was either this one. Let's try this one. What do I want to search for? That's what I can just do. I can do grep-r fizz buzz sheet name fizzbuzz. That's the one we want. And that is in Excel workbook XML. Excel workbook XML fizz buzz. So what I'm going to do to make this easy is I'm going to add a blank line there and a blank line there. And we'll do the same first initial payload that I did in the last one. Let me close this one, which was, I think, docprops core. Yeah. So we'll add that right here. And then in the name, we'll put ampersand foo there. And we'll go back, choose file, FizzBuzz, submit. Boom, we can see we do have a vulnerability here. All right. Now I'm going to kind of cut to the chase a little bit. The second we try to, and we know the location of the flag from the Docker file. Whoops. Right here, we can see the echo run concats the flag to the etc password. So we know we want the etc password. If I do system to tell it it's an externally defined, and then do file etc pass wd foo system, yeah, that's right. Our error is from, that's fine. So we write that. So the problem that we're going to run into is that right now we're working in a property. So we can't actually do that. And if we try to do an externally, like host a DTD and then use a parameter entity to pull that DTD in, we're also going to get errors. So what I ended up doing was I ended up because this part pulls in the field name attribute and value, I decided to try the value. So let's do &foo here. Notice how we don't get an error because we're now in the value of this entity. And choose file, FizzBuzz, submit. We don't get it there. Maybe it was user shared. Users shared. That's in the same file. So Excel workbook XML URL. There we go. We'll try this one also. And I'm just going to add enters around it. I'm going to jump to the end again. So I'm going to do create an ending x15ac : abs path right there. And I'm going to put &foo semicolon. All right. Choose file, FizzBuzz, submit. Whoops. FizzBuzz, submit. Boom. There we go. And there's our flag. So what took me a long time, I guess, was trying to find the right spot. But then also, I guess it's just this one node that gets read insecurely. And that's because it uses etree XML parser with resolve entities true. And it finds that AC abs path, which is that guy, and reads its information, including the value. And that's how we can get it to, exploit the XXE using a DTD and solve it. Sweet. That's it. So I hope I did a good job of explaining what I did and how to solve this one. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Goodbye.